Welcome to the Business of Beauty, where we help beauty entrepreneurs in building their business and reaching their dreams. This is your host, David Lee. Our guest today is the owner and founder of Clarity Skin and Beauty. They offer skincare and beauty services for women from ages 19 all the way up to 99. Their specialties include lash extensions, lash lifts, custom spray tans, and skincare. They also have another side of their business called Clarity Lash and Tan Academy, which offers professional beauty education for lash extensions, lash lifts, tinting, and sunless tanning. She is proud of the amazing team of women they have. Everyone at their office, from manager to apprentices, has one common goal: to make women look and feel their very best. And her superpower is keeping it cool while managing a business, working on clients, educating students, and keeping her home halfway put together with a husband, 2-year-old, and 3-year-old. Wow. Welcome to the show, Paige Thompson at Clarity Skin and Beauty.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, David.
Yeah, my pleasure. Yeah, I don't know how you do it. I just had my child like a few months ago, so she's like 6 months old now.
Oh my gosh, congratulations.
Oh, thank you. And it's a full-time job.
It sure is. You are absolutely right. Yeah, it definitely takes a village.
Yes. So now I had a really quick intro about your business. So can you tell us a little bit more about your business, how it works, the model, and then kind of go back in time on how you got started?
Yeah, absolutely. To make it all make sense, I'll actually start from the beginning, if that's okay.
Great.
So I ended up in aesthetic school 10 years ago, almost right out of high school. I did the whole university thing for a little while and then realized it wasn't for me. After I finished aesthetic school, I worked at a few different day spas. Actually thought I was going to go more into the medical side of skincare. I went to school after aesthetics to become a surgical technologist and medical skincare with the goal to work at like a dermatology or plastic surgeon's office, which I think that's like what a lot of us are told is going to be successful for us in life. Like, get that salary paying job with the insurance and benefits. You don't really know there's a lot of other options out there.
Yeah.
So had that in my sights, and then I realized I didn't like any of it. So when I was an esthetician initially, I started out doing a little bit of everything: skincare, spray tans, waxing. I eventually got into lash extensions. And then it came to a point in my career where I decided it was time to go for it and open my own space. So kind of went out on a limb. My husband and I had been married for about 6 months at the time. So newly married.
Yeah. Now, roughly about what year was that? So you can kind of get
a time reference. So that was 5 years ago.
5 years ago.
Okay. So 2015.
2015. Yep.
Yep. We basically just saved as much money as we could. I was buying supplies like beds and towel warmers and all this stuff as I could.
Now, did your husband work in the business or help you, build up this business, or was he also doing his thing, a full-time job on the side? What was that like?
He was doing his own thing, full-time job on the side. He was definitely always super supportive of me. I don't think I could have done it if he weren't. Yeah, it really is key. So he was supportive. We kind of had this goal in mind. And I went into it not really knowing if I wanted to keep it just like a solopreneurship, just me, or if I wanted to expand, or what the future would look like. So ended up finding it was actually just an office space. So it wasn't a build out salon or anything. It was separated rooms, like an office. To open my space in, had my treatment room, and continue to do a little bit of everything in aesthetics. I think within the first 2 or 3 months, I hired someone to help me do spray tans because I was getting so busy.
Wow.
After that,
Now, how did you get so busy? That's what we're curious about, right? Like,
yes,
did you open up the shop and all of a sudden all these clients started rushing in? Like, what did you do something to make that happen?
No, and I tell all of my estheticians that work with me now, I'm not magic. Like there's nothing magic about me.
No magic wand. Okay.
No magic wand, unfortunately. I wish, but just being really loyal to those clients that are loyal back to you. So treating them well, making sure I went above and beyond, and having that individual relationship with each client has always been top priority for me. And just figuring out that you don't have to have a huge list of clients to be successful, but really giving the clients that come to you what they need and what they're looking for, and treating them well. So many of my clients have been with me for 9-10 years now.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Since the very beginning, right?
Since the very beginning. And they would follow me anywhere.
Yeah. So at that point, you had a book of business before going off on your own. Right.
I did. I had been working in the area, Dawsonville, where we're currently located, for about 3 years before I opened my own business.
Okay.
So I had built a little bit of a client base up already. Just continuing to really support those clients that came to see me, keeping in contact with them, making sure they got on my books regularly. So ended up hiring someone to help me with spray tan. She's still with me now. Nice. And then 6 months into it, hired someone else to help me with facials. She also still works with me. So a really great group of women. And then I was about, I think like 5 months into opening my own business, and I found out I was pregnant with my first daughter. So it was like all at one time. Yeah.
Okay, so this was 5 years ago, and 5 months into opening up the business. So in the middle of 2015, that's when you realize, oh wow, I'm having a baby, pregnant, right? So I'm curious, what was going through your mind at that point? You're like, oh man, how do I manage a business, while having, and that was your first child, right, at that time?
Right. Yeah. So that's a little scary, I'm sure, for any parent trying to figure all that out.
Yeah. For me, I started looking at, okay, how can I pretty much like get rid of my own position, essentially, right? Like, how can I teach others to kind of do what I used to do? Because especially in the month prior, and then pretty much anytime after that, your time is really eaten up, right?
It is.
So like, what were some of the changes or adjustments you had to consider or started making immediately?
Well, I wish I would have been as smart as you and thought in the same track as you, and thought like, oh, well, what can I do to do less at work? But instead, at that point in time, I had the mindset of, I can handle it all. Like, it's going to be fine. I'll keep it all. That never goes well for anyone, so I don't suggest that for anybody.
But this is good advice, smart. I mean, even for me, like when I first started my business, I think that's kind of like the rite of passage, right? It's like I pretty much every new business owner kind of goes through that. Like, in the beginning, right? Like it always feels like there's never enough, right? And you're trying to figure yourself out, figure out your business model a little bit better. And you pretty much say yes to everything, right? Absolutely. You just take on everything. And then you realize like, wow, I guess I don't have much time to sleep or do anything else. So I guess I got to keep doing it. I keep promising these things, right? And I have to deliver.
And then you end up exhausted and not able to give any at home or at work. So it's just not a good combination. Didn't take me too terribly long to figure that out.
Was there a turning point? Was there like for me, it was like waking up one day. I was like, you know what? I got this crazy cough and I couldn't get rid of. And I was like, you know what? I'm done. Like I am going to wake up when I wake up, and I'm going to be in control of my own life. It was just like a wake up call one day. Was there a turning point for you?
I think it was a little more gradual for me. Just kind of realizing, wow, I'm not spending the time at home that I want to. And like my kids are never going to be this age again. So trying to live your life more in the moment. And I think a lot of things led up to that, which I'm sure it's true for anybody, but I feel like we learn more from the bad decisions we make than the good ones, you know? That's how you build a business, right? A lot of bad decisions.
It's burned into your brain, right? Forever.
Yes. So to answer your question, fast forward to now, I think there's a total of 8 of us that work here at Clarity. And realizing that clients don't, like, the business doesn't have to depend on me wholly. I can train other people to do what they love and give them that independence while they work and not have to micromanage everything. I'll be the first to admit I'm bad about micromanaging, and that was a fault. So like just being able to give that up, let it go, and learning more. And also, I think a really valuable lesson I learned in the growth of my business was to hire for culture instead of hiring for skill.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can always teach the skill.
Exactly.
You can't really teach certain, personalities and how they mesh with other members, right?
Yeah. And that's what's most important. I think the most important thing you can provide to your clients is the experience. So how they feel when you're with you, more so than the actual service or even the outcome that they leave with. They just want the experience more than anything. And I think when I realized that, that's when I was able to say, okay, I can be the mom that I want to be, which is really important now when all of our kids are at home and we can't go anywhere. And also run a business. So I definitely do it with the team. It's not me by myself. I have an amazing office manager, amazing support and team members here that I wouldn't be able to do it otherwise.
Yeah. Now, some estheticians that started their business and then they started hiring more people, they ran into the challenge of their clients did not want to let them go. They're like, hey, I've been working with Paige, I've been working with you, I don't want to work with this other person that you hired, right? So did you run into that? And if so, how did you navigate through that?
Yeah, it's funny that you asked that, because just last week I had to send out an email to many of my facial clients that I've been working on for 8 or 9 years and telling them, hey, I'm not doing facials anymore. It's hard. It's hard on both ends. I wanted to cry when I sent that email, but I was also like alleviated.
Yeah, it's like there's all this weight off your shoulders, right?
Yeah, it is. Honestly, in our field where we build such strong connections with clients, they really care about you and you really care about them. So I think when you come from as a standpoint like, hey, I cannot do this anymore. And I just flat out told my clients, hey, we have an esthetician here. She knows a lot more about skincare than I do. I'm not giving you the best service I could because I can't keep up with skincare and lashes and all that.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It is. So they understand when you really like explain it to them, like, hey, I don't feel good about offering you the service because I'm not doing my best. And when I explained it to them like that, they were understanding. And sometimes you might have to throw them a little discount in there for their first service with somebody else,
Yeah. So it's first, education and letting them know, your customer, being the customer comes first. And I always look at it, it's like, I want to be actually the dumbest person in the room when I'm surrounded by my team. Right? When they're doing certain things, I want to go to my team member to understand, for them to give me the answer because they're the front lines or they're figuring it out. They're in it day in and day out. So I love that. So now, so I assume you quickly kind of ramped up from 2015 to now, like just hiring more people to fill in all the gaps so you can free up a lot of your time, right? Is that just of it?
There was a lot of learning in that process as well, because I didn't always know to hire for culture over skill. So I went through a few people that it mutually didn't work out, nothing dramatic or anything like that, but they it didn't work out on either parties. So went through some growing pains, and really just within the last year, I feel like we're at a great place with our team, with the lash and tan artists we have here now.
Okay, so until March 2020 hit, right?
And then there was a whole new struggle to deal with. But I will say all of my lash artists here, I think we really haven't lost a single client in all of that, which is huge to say. And I think a lot of it is just, again, staying in contact with your client, letting them know that you care, and building up that culture here as well.
Nice. Yeah. Now I'm curious. So being in Georgia, you mentioned like the states open up and you actually been able to work for the past 2 weeks, right? So let's go back a little bit further. Now, when you first heard, maybe when you first heard about the situation, and then also the state announcing lockdown, like what was going through your mind? Were you going through panic mode? Like, oh my God, what's going to happen to my clients, my business, everything, right?
Yeah, I think we all went through a little bit of that panic mode. Luckily, at this point in my life, I'm able to kind of like calm myself down.
Yeah. That is your superpower. That is your superpower, right?
Right?
It can be cool, right?
Yeah, I can be pretty level-headed when I need to. So yeah, when we first heard about, the pandemic started, other side of the world, you don't think it's going to relate to you. So whenever it does come in its reality, it was kind of like, oh man, like what are we all going to do? There's a team of women here that depends on working. It's not just me anymore either. We all have family and kids and all this. So I think probably for a lot of us, when we first got the mandatory shutdown, we were just taking it week by week. Like, okay, maybe next week we'll be able to open, maybe next week. So we just, we kept in contact again with all of our clients, kept rescheduling them, didn't just let them fall away, and letting them know like, hey, we're here for you, and we care about you as much as you care about getting your lashes put back on, or, your skincare services. And we just really used that time to market as best as we could. We did a lot of home care kits. We did a lot of how-to videos for our clients.
Okay, nice. So your team was able to pivot really quickly to say, all right, we need to generate revenue in other ways. We need to focus more on branding. Now we have more time.
Nice. Exactly. Yeah. So I don't really think any of our team let the whole mandatory shutdown be like a vacation or like a rest time even so much for them. We were all working social media channels. We were doing everything we could.
That's awesome.
So we were actually generating, obviously not the same amount of revenue, but some revenue to keep it going during the shutdown, which was awesome.
Yeah, keep the lights going, pay rent, right? Even though
all the overhead. Exactly. All those important things. So whenever we were able to open up about 2 weeks ago, and the governor allowed us to do that, which actually none of us saw coming. That was a total shock too.
Oh, nice.
We were ready to go. Like that first day we had a full book and people were coming in, no problem.
Really?
Everyone,
I'm guessing everyone's really anxious. And that's one of the things I've heard too. It's like during this time, even though a lot of people are locked down, at their homes, they still want to feel good, right? They want to look good. So they're still looking for these services. Now I'm curious, from a business standpoint, did this affect your business? Did you end up, like losing business, or has it pretty much stayed the same or picked up?
Thankfully our business has stayed exactly the same. After that mandatory shutdown, our numbers are right back where they pretty much were to begin with. Now we are having to stagger appointments, so we make sure not too many people are here at a time. That's affected it some. But we're like working some longer days to get people in, and doing some alterations like that. So we're pretty much seeing the same volume of clients we were before.
Nice.
So that's been great too.
So you mentioned alterations. Like, I'm curious, like what changes have you made in your business now for like this new world, right? Of the new way of essentially doing business now. So I'm curious what you've done for your location.
Yeah. Well, the great thing about being an esthetician is you basically have a license in sanitation and sterilization and all that good stuff. So I think most of us as estheticians feel comfortable and confident knowing that we can protect our clients. Like we were doing this all along for our clients. They just had no idea. So really the biggest, exactly, it's normal to us. The biggest difference is clients are wearing masks when they come in. Some clients are wearing gloves, like we're checking temperatures. Other than that, we were already wearing masks during appointments. We are now wearing gloves through all appointments, and just going like those extra steps to sanitize, sterilize, disinfect every inch of our space as possible.
Yeah.
Not that we weren't before, but we're just putting even more of an effort into that, going through a lot more laundry now, all that stuff. So just some extra end of the day sterilization, sanitation that maybe we weren't doing before. Other than that, as an esthetician, things are pretty much exactly the same. And clients have told a lot of us this is the only place they've been out of lockdown, and they feel safe coming here. They know it's clean and that they don't have to worry. So
that's good to hear.
I think that'll be the case for a lot of estheticians and people in our industry.
Yeah. I mean, from the sound of it, it's definitely cleaner than any grocery store to go.
Exactly, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then also you mentioned staggering appointments. So not having too many clients at the office or at your location at once, right?
Right. Yeah. So our governor here in Georgia advised us not to have more than 10 people in a location at one time. Okay. So we just made sure that we don't have too many people working at one time. We're asking clients to come in at their exact appointment time so we can keep our waiting area clear. And just making sure there's not people waiting around. You're not bringing your kids or your husband or wife or friend with you to your appointment too.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, what are your plans for the rest of this year and then also the next, 2-3 years out?
Yeah. So as far as that goes with the COVID-19 stuff, we'll continue to follow guidelines as we have to and as we need to protect our clients and our team members here. So we'll carry on with those procedures. But as far as business, we actually have more than one location. So we're doing same things at every location to keep on track with that too and see how things pan out in the future.
Nice. So you have 2 locations, right?
We do. So we have a location here. We're in Dawsonville, Georgia, which is about an hour north of Atlanta. And we have one location that's right now part-time, but it's a little further south towards Atlanta.
Okay. And I'm assuming that's a newer location. You just started it, or?
It is. We just started it actually December. This past December, we started it.
Oh, okay.
And we are building out and planning on adding a few more locations where we specialize in lashes and spray tans.
Nice. So now I'm curious to hear, obviously with the new location, it's a new area, new book of business, right?
Right.
How did you manage to build up the second location without any history or book of business?
Yeah. I get that question a lot too from a lot of other people in the beauty industry. And really, I have found just from experience that your current clientele is your biggest marketing tool, and word of mouth, nothing's ever going to be better than word of mouth. So we get so many client referrals in that's really how we're able to grow our business. It's just great client referrals. Obviously social media is huge nowadays, and it's a free tool, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
Because you can use it to your benefit.
Yeah.
One big thing I think that we have focused on that has helped us become so successful here at Clarity is my team members will tell you, I preach this all the time, but the less you do, the more money you make. So the more you specialize in one area, the more successful you'll be. That's why we only do lashes and spray tans. We're not trying to be a jack of all trades. And then we have an esthetician here who just does skincare.
Nice.
So we can focus on those things. Your skill level can be at the best possible. You can have the best supplies.
You can hyper focus.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think that makes you stand out above a lot of other people is when you specialize, the better you do.
Yeah. So when you say word of mouth, so is it your current location, your first location, those customers letting them know hey, by the way, we have another location an hour away. If you know any friends or family in that area, have them come and visit us. Is that the gist, or? Okay.
It is. And our other location is actually a little bit closer than that. It's probably about 35-40 minutes from here.
Oh, okay.
And so we had, it's not too bad. We had some clients that were actually driving from Atlanta or below Atlanta to us. So it makes it more convenient. Nice. So what it kind of did for us was split our clientele, but then allowed us to grow more at both locations as well.
Yeah. Now, is there a big challenge from a management side? Managing 2 different teams, or I guess the teams split into 2 locations, now eventually multiple locations. So logistics, it sounds like a nightmare.
It has been, it's been some growing pains figuring that out as well. And we're still definitely learning with that every single day. Like you mentioned in the intro, we do have a Lash and Tan Academy here.
Yeah.
So I actually certify people in lash extensions and lash lifts, and we have a spray tan artist who does the same. So we're able to do a lot of in-house education and make sure we all are on the same page, which is huge.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm also really big on quarterly staff meetings. I have a quarterly one-on-one with every one of our team members because I want them to meet all their personal goals as well. And then we just started implementing twice a year. We do like something fun with our whole team. So January, we rented a house and had like a little overnight thing that was fun. So those kind of bonding experiences keep us all on the same page. And I think that makes a huge difference when you're dealing with such a big team.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
I guess any advice that you could give now to someone that's thinking about starting their first beauty business now? I mean, especially, with your experience, we're running, 2 locations now, and you being an educator, is it a good time to start now, or should they wait? I mean, what would you say?
You know what? I think women are going to spend money on their beauty services no matter what. Even when the economy fell through, people were still getting their hair done. They were still getting their nails done, their lashes done. I think now is as good of time as ever, honestly. As long as you're passionate about it and you know what you're focusing on, I think you can absolutely be successful in this industry at any time, any point during the economy downfall or pandemics or whatever may be going on. I think now's as good a time
hurricane, as any. Who knows, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So it's not a bad time to start. Any time is a good time. But the important thing is focus. It sounds like, right? Focus on the specialty, right? Don't be jack of all trades. Focus in an area, and also from what you mentioned earlier is relationships, right? Building good relationships with your clients, so they would feel comfortable working with going to you and also referring you. Right.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, really, I think even now, just making the best out of maybe a not ideal situation. If you were to start a business, you can really focus on how you are above and beyond with cleanliness and sanitation and sterilization, and automatically instill that trust in you from day one, and use that to kind of pivot your business on. Just looking at, areas where you can do that, and focus and building those lasting client relationships, realizing you don't have to have 100 clients. You can have a list of 20 clients and be super successful.
Nice. Yeah. And is that one of the biggest concerns that you hear from, clients, like from people, like, is it safe? Because I know, like, having a baby at home, right? I don't want to contract COVID or from anywhere. So is that been one of the biggest concerns that you've been hearing from not only your customers, but other estheticians, running their practice?
I would say, honestly, we haven't heard that a lot from our clients, just because, like I said, they felt good about coming in here, which is fantastic. But that is all you hear about in the industry right now. Is it safe? You see people, you see people scared to take clients, scared to go back to work, which I completely understand. But just understanding what you're dealing with and realizing, okay, like, I can take this on, and I do have the steps and tools and whatever means necessary to deal with it. And not letting your anxiety get the best of you. I think in today's social media driven world, that can happen a lot. So
it's like, it's easy to hear bad things, especially if you turn on the TV, go on YouTube, just watch something, and it's very easy to find negative news.
Absolutely.
Can't be afraid of life.
No, you can't. You do have to live it. Solutions. And your clients, I mean, ultimately, they're coming to you to feel better about themselves, their life in some way, shape, or form. So realizing that you need to bring that positivity to your clients and kind of leave the anxiety at home is a big one when coming back to work in the current pandemic.
Yeah. I love it. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Absolutely.
Is there any other last piece of advice that you could give to someone that's thinking about starting their business or are already struggling in this time?
If I could give one piece of advice, it would again just be to specialize and nurture those relationships you already have with your clients, or if you're opening a new business, realize that you do have a client base just starting out with your acquaintances, friends, and family. Let everybody know what you're doing and that you're doing it safely right now. And you will, with a passion, you will have a successful business.
Yes, love it. Yeah, thank you. And how can our viewers or community reach you?
So Instagram is a great way to find me individually. My handle on Instagram is Paige, Paige _ Clarity, CLARITY. And our academy is Clarity Lash Tan Academy. And then we also have Clarity Skin Beauty on Instagram.
Nice. And thank you. And for those that didn't catch all that, no worries. It will be in the resource area and also in the description. So you can click down below to go straight to those links. So again, Paige, thank you so much for your time. And everyone, hope you enjoyed the show. Take care.
Perfect. Thanks.
Bye-bye.